Hey everyone, it's Christopher Cott again. Um, Still working on this piece. I'm your Huckleberry. Got the Doc Hollywood kind of thing from the movie Tombstone. This video is going to be um, about artists and trying to conquer that artist block. So, you know, for a lot of writers can have, writer's block. Well, it's the same thing with artists. I mean, it's really no different. You struggle with either an idea. But I think with most artists, it's not that you're struggling with an idea. It's that you're struggling to find that passion for your art. And there's not a one-size-fits-all solution to this kind of problem because it stems from many different things. So I'm not going to tell you that I can guarantee you an answer that's going to help. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, because all I can tell you is based on my experience. For some artists, it's a matter of finding the right medium that jives with you. I've tried a lot of different styles of art. Gravitated quite a bit towards graphite penciling and ink work, and I liked that for a while, and I did enjoy it. I'm not going to say I didn't, but it just was never that like I chomping at the bit, couldn't wait to get to my drafting table kind of thing. Pardon me. But I remember one day I was at one of my kids' sporting events. He was in track. He wasn't really into it. It was more of a social thing. He only had one event, and when you're sitting there at a sporting event, which I'm not a major sportsman, and you spend 98% of the time watching somebody else's kid, participate, you get kind of bored. So I got out my phone and started looking through YouTube, and I spotted this, as I'm describing him, a Japanese master at wood burning, pyrography. It was incredible. I mean, he captured the sheen of this young girl's hair. It was like a photograph. And as you can tell, I like that. I wouldn't say my work's hyper realistic. It's fairly realistic. But I saw that and I just thought, wow, that looks really cool. It looks like it'd be kind of fun to try. And when I really started getting into it, I don't know, it just clicked. And I realized this is at least part of the medium for me. I'm probably going to incorporate other things like painting and stuff as well. It actually has an appeal to it. At least I think so. We'll find out when I try it. It seems to in my mind. But I don't know. With this, it's very relaxing. It's warm. I like the sepia tones. It's quiet. I used to etch granite, and that was loud and obnoxious. I couldn't listen to YouTube or Spotify or the radio or anything else when I was etching granite. I mean, the effect was cool. I had fun with it for a while, but I never was really looking forward to just, getting to my table. It was never like, boy, I can't wait until my shift at work is over with so I can get home and, get to my drafting table. But I do now. I mean, it's not like I hate my job. I don't love it as much as I love my art, which is, I'm sure to be expected. So that's one thing, maybe you're not working in the right medium. Maybe it's not the right subject matter for you. So that's something to consider. And sometimes you do have the right medium. You do have the right subject matter, but something else is missing. And it could just be that you're kind of stuck. And times like that, and this is not going to be an answer anybody's going to like, but I think is very truthful, is sometimes you just got to force yourself to sit down and do it. Just for a few minutes and see what happens. I remember talking to an artist friend of mine. She was struggling. And I told her, I said, maybe if you just try to, on those days that you're not feeling it, just sit down and kind of like the person that doesn't like to exercise. It's good for you. It's going to make you healthier, but you don't feel like getting off your butt and going for a walk or, or lifting weights, whatever the case may be. So you make this deal with yourself. You say, well, I'm going to do this for at least, 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 5 minutes. And if I'm still hating it after, like, say, 10 minutes or so, then I'll stop. But I'm at least going to try. And that's another thing I struggle with. But I know in cases like with me, when I need to get up, start walking or exercising or something like that, I tell myself that, I get up, and then I end up hating it the first couple minutes, and then after that I'm fine. And fortunately these days, not wanting, struggling to kind of get myself in that groove to work on my art is not much of a problem. It used to be, and again, I think I was working in the wrong medium, the wrong subject matter. But, I'll still occasionally have those days like, I'm not really feeling it. Much rather just sit on my butt and blob out for a while in front of the TV. And then I just tell myself, give yourself 15 minutes and see how you feel then. If you're still hating it, maybe it's good to step away from it, because you don't want to ruin whatever it is that you're working on. With your sourpuss attitude. But I'd say 80 to 90% of the time, the rare moments that I am in that mood and I force myself to sit down, work on it for about 10-15 minutes, I start getting into that groove. And another odd thing is, once you start doing that repetitively, day after day after day, then it starts to click. And it just becomes part of your routine. And pretty soon you're back into it, and you just can't wait to get back to that, space where you do your work, whatever it is. So, those are just a couple things to consider. Again, it's probably not going to cover it for everybody. You may have to come to terms with, maybe you're not a serious artist, like making a living of it, or attempting to make a living of it, in my case. Maybe you're more of a hobby artist. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you just got to be truthful with yourself on that matter. Not everybody wants to work on art every day. Sometimes you have a great idea, you work on it, you may never finish it, and I see a lot of that. And that's what's really, I think, depressing. And I used to be that. I call them start-stoppers. And I'm not trying to pick on anybody. Like I said, I had that problem. And I had to finally kind of force myself through it. And that's not the answer anybody ever wants. But, sometimes the truthful answer is not the popular answer. But it's the one you got to deal with. And also not a popular answer is telling people, not everybody is meant to be a real serious artist. Some people are just a hobby artist. There's really no shame in it. You got to find where you fit in as an artist and just accept it and deal with it. You'll be a lot happier. So, anyway, food for thought. Hope it's helpful. Please feel free to comment, or if you have any questions or comments, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get this channel off the ground after all, but all I can tell you was where my experiences led me to, so I hope it's helpful. Take care. Blessings.